And in the middle of the night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it, news broke that NatWest's chief executive, Dame Alison Rose, is stepping down from her post after Downing Street expressed significant concerns about her conduct.
She was heavily criticised for being the source of an inaccurate BBC report about Nigel Farage's account at Coutts Bank, which is part of the NatWest group. Mr Farage has maintained his bank account was closed because of his political views. He joins us on the programme now. Morning to you, Nigel Farage. Is this enough? Are you satisfied now that she's gone?
The most extraordinary thing was a statement from the board at 6:15 last night defending her position. Let's be clear about this. The first rule of banking is client confidentiality. And she, over a dinner, a sociable dinner with Simon Jack, the BBC business editor, clearly said some things that weren't very wise. The BBC were absolutely belt and braces on this, and that was confirmed by the CEO of BBC News in a letter to me. They then rang her up the next morning and said, "Are you okay with this information being published?" She said, "Yes." Simon Jack put it out. So you can't do that. You can't be in banking at any level. You know, whether you're a cashier right through to being the boss of NatWest, you cannot breach confidentiality. So she's gone, and it's right that she has gone. However, I think this brings into question the whole of the board. You know, the chairman of the NatWest group, the CEO of Coutts, the subsidiary. Frankly, because of how they behaved, I think they should all go.
Why do you say that? When you say because of how they behaved, what is it about the rest of the board that you now have a problem with?
Well, Peter Flavell is the name of the man who is the CEO of Coutts. He signed off that my account should be closed because my views did not align with the values of the bank. I mean, since when is a bank a moral arbiter of who they deem to be suitable as a customer or not? And this matters, not just for me, but to every one of your viewers, because they now intend, the banks, to monitor the social media comments made. And if they don't like what you've said, they'll close down your account. And that is why the City Minister, Andrew Griffith, today is calling into the Treasury the bosses of the 19 biggest banks in the country to tell them, stop this, stop being political, stop playing these ridiculous games, just get on with being banks. And I hope that change is put into place very quickly indeed.
Let's talk about the practicalities for a moment, shall we? So where is your money now and how are you running your accounts?
So Coutts gave me a notice to leave the bank. I was unable to find any other account. And because of that, I've got an extension. So I'm still there for another couple of weeks. And then that's it. I should be outside the banking system. And very, very difficult to live anything approaching a normal life these days without a bank account. But this isn't just about me. This is about tens of thousands of people out there who've had their bank accounts closed, particularly small businesses that take cash. The banks, despite the fact we bailed them out as a result of their greed and stupidity back in 2008, the banks have responded by closing the branches, by closing tens of thousands of business accounts, and by not wanting anyone that takes cash. And this isn't good enough. So what I want to do, I want to be a voice for all of those people who in many cases have had their lives ruined by the banks. They've been closed down with no good reason at all. And I think it should be a fundamental right for anybody in our country to have a bank account.
You mentioned that this affects lots of people, many people who will be watching the programme this morning, but certainly lots of people who will be watching the programme this morning will not have a Coutts bank account. Can you just explain to us why you chose Coutts in the first place? What was it about Coutts Bank that worked for you?
I was a NatWest customer since 1980. I had my personal account there for all those years. I also had my business accounts with NatWest, and this is before I was in politics. And then, just over 10 years ago, 15 years ago, NatWest told me that they were withdrawing foreign exchange facilities. I wasn't very happy because at the time I was being paid in euros. So I said, I'm not happy with this. Don't worry, they said, you can go to Coutts. They're part of the same banking group. So that's how I finished up there.
And in terms of just to really be quite specific about this, so we've had one big resignation, which happened quite dramatically overnight. That's not enough for you. You want more.
No, absolutely. Look, The CEO of Coutts has overseen directly a culture that has led to somebody being got rid of because of their political opinions, not because of their commercial viability. I've written to him 3 times. I've not even had the courtesy of a reply. And frankly, Sir Howard Davis, who is the overall chairman, or chairperson as he calls himself, of the NatWest Group, his job is to maintain the good governance of the banking group. And what we saw yesterday was an attempt to cover up a clear breach of banking confidentiality, to back up, frankly, a lie, because it was the BBC that were telling the truth about this, not Alison Rose. I just don't see how, when you've done that, your position can be sustainable.
So what do you want next?
Well, remember that 39% of this bank is owned by us, the taxpayer. Our taxes went up to bail these people out. We have this Friday, we have the 6-month figures coming out from NatWest. We also have an investor meeting. The government, as the biggest single investor in this banking group, and other major investors, they need to appoint a new chairman and a new board pretty quickly. After all, this is our money we're talking about.
Nigel Farage, thank you.